Welcome to Growth and Inspire, where we examine topics that make us feel inspired and grow. And I'm your host, Bonnie Yam, and we will be posting frequently on topics to help you run your business better. It can be issues involving new regulations, taxes, planning for business growth, or how to run your business more efficiently. So, whether you're an individual, C suite member of a company, this podcast is for you. We hope to bring you insights and discussion points, drill down on complexity to make it simple. Join us on this journey. We'll have lots of interesting guests, such as business evaluators, insurance experts, tax and financial professionals. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review if you enjoy what you hear. Now, let's get started. Today, our topic is BOI reporting, beneficial ownership interest reporting, right? And our guest speakers are Todd Bellistri and Vishal Raval from Snap BOI. So welcome, Todd. Welcome, Vishal. So happy to have you on our podcast. So before we start, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your company? Should start with Vishal?
Yeah, sure. So myself, Vishal, I had the customer success for Snap BOI. So I specialize in customer onboarding, and I've been working with the company for a very short time yet. But yes, very happy for that. And of course, for the clients, for your clients, and as per the recent act from Corporate Transparency Act, every customers has to file their beneficial ownership information to the FinCEN. So yeah, we'll be helping you to file that because we have a very easy to use priority BOI reporting platform for the accountants, attorneys, payroll organizations, and business advisors and other trusted professionals. So yeah, we'll be very excited to work with you, Bonnie.
Okay, great, wonderful. Well, before we actually jump into the details, I think, let's just talk a little bit on a higher level. What is BOI reporting? Todd, do you want to start?
Sure. Great. Yes, so BOI reporting is part of the Corporate Transparency Act, which was enacted into law in the year 2021. And the Corporate Transparency Act was passed to enhance transparency in companies and ownership in an effort to combat money laundering, tax fraud, and other illicit activities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, do you think a lot of people know about it? I kind of feel that the general public, it's just like something so freaking new that they haven't really heard enough about it, know what to do, and they don't even know who to ask, right? Do you get the feeling that this is not, although this is like a act, you have to do it, but I just don't feel that, yeah, people know enough about it.
Uh,
So, okay. So what about, how about Vishal? What about, can you tell us like who needs to file?
So every company who's been started before 2024, right? They need to file with the FinCEN. And after 1st of January 2025, they have to file within the 90 days of their registration.
So you mean, wait. So you mean we all need to file, okay? Whether we establish our company before 2024, after 2024, it's the only difference is the deadline. Either you have it until the end of this year, or you
End
have
of this
90
year.
days if you a new company, right? Something like that.
Yes, something like that. Yes. If they are registered before 2024, 31st December 2024, they have to file end of 2025. That's the deadline.
And then who needs to file? I'm so proprietor, uh, if I only file schedule C, do I need to file? All right, Todd.
yeah. So that's a great question. So specifically, for purposes of the beneficial ownership information reporting, Bonnie, the a company is considered a quote reporting company, a company that's required to file, if that company has filed a document with a governmental agency or a state to operate and to conduct business. And in most instances, a sole proprietor would not be such a company. So we're talking about generally most LLCs, most corporations, and some other certain types of trusts. It gets a little complicated. And there's also foreign formed entities who come to the US to conduct business. Generally, they're registering with the state to conduct that business. So these would be the companies expected to file their BOI reports.
So if I have a question mark, whether I should or should not file, is there a little quiz or like assessment that I can go through so I can feel comfortable that I'm not missing out, I'm not doing something I'm not supposed to do. I know I should be doing this. Where should I go to validate?
Sure, sure. Well, you have a fancy schmancy quiz on your BOI service portal, Bonnie. We know this. And generally, just so the listeners have an understanding, there are some industries which are highly regulated, banking, securities, broker-dealers. These types of industries are a few of the exceptions to BOI because these companies that are involved with these industries already file and must comply with certain ownership information reporting. Generally, however, according to FinCEN, 95%, almost every company out there is going to be expected to file a BOI report.
So this is a big deal. So if you don't file, what's the implication?
Good question. I like to talk about this as well. The implication is stiff penalties potentially up to $500 a day. And also there are criminal penalties
Oh no.
for intentional disregard of filing or for filing a fraudulent BOI report. I mean, you can actually go to prison for this. So the government is serious about enforcement.
That's terrible. How complicated is it, to file this report? Is it very complicated? Do I need to give you a lot of information about my company, my tax return? What do you need? What do you need to file?
Sure, I'll take that also. So the filing information is basic information about the company, the reporting company's legal name, tax ID number, and operating address, and also the information about the quote beneficial owners. These are generally individuals who own 25% or more of the company or have influence over the operation of the company, even if they don't have ownership. And the information for the beneficial owners is also basic information, name, home address, as well as a picture ID of a government issued document. Typically, that'll be a license or a passport.
If there are multiple owners, like more than one that own over 25%, then they all have to file, I guess. And they all have to file in the same form, or can we file separately and then you somehow put them all together? Can get complicated,
Yeah, yeah, it could get complicated. So yes, in a case where there's multiple beneficial owners, they're reporting those owners on a initial or a single BOI report because the BOI report is for the reporting company, the entity. So all owners associated to that particular entity are reported, consolidated into the one filing.
Yeah, I guess like the for most of us, that's probably good enough. But I know there's some more complex ownership. Let's say I'm a company that owns 5 companies, and then 20%, 25% here, 25% there, and then there are owners within that company, so multiple levels. So that makes it a bit more complex. And then I guess like we'll have to call you, right? So how do I report that when you have multiple level of ownerships?
That is correct. And Bonnie, on that note, also you have instances where an individual may be considered a beneficial owner, even absent any ownership. For example, a CEO or a CFO or any
Yep.
other officer.
Anybody who's influential, yeah, making decisions. The other questions that we kind of talk about privately is that can you elaborate a little bit on trust? A lot of people use that for estate planning, donating to charitable organization. Would I need to file if an LLC that I set up to donate interest of certain shares of my company? How would that work?
Yeah, and you're right, it is complicated. Generally, the reporting status of these types of entities, trusts, will depend on their type and method of establishment. So example, a domestic entity such as a statutory trust or a business trust or even a foundation is classified as a reporting company only if its formation involved documenting that formation with the Secretary of State or a similar office. So those sorts of situations should be looked at very carefully to determine if the entity, the trust, actually needs to file.
This is not just New York. You're talking about nationwide, right? So it doesn't matter where I file. Maybe I establish my company out of state somewhere for tax purposes, but then I would still fall under the BOI reporting. All right, great. Yeah. Um, Anything else you want to add? I think, this is certainly an interesting topic. There's a lot of complexity to it. And I know you have a great software. Why don't you talk a little bit about Snap BOI then?
It would be a great pleasure to have you, Bonnie, on the platform. It's very easy to use platform, as Todd mentioned earlier. Very easy just for the company information, having a beneficial owner information, and ready to file. It will take maximum about 8 to 9 minutes or 7 minutes for you to file as one company.
Yeah,
And we have an option to import the data. Like it's not that you have 1,000 clients and you have to do it all manually one by one. You can import all your data in a CSV file and it will be ready to go within 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
I just want to say in general, Snap BOI makes the filing simplify really the complexity of the filing because number one, my question is, do I need to file? So, I can go through the questionnaire and then within 1 or 2 minutes, boom, yes, you have to file. Yes, no, I don't have to file. And then, collecting data is always a pain. So they want to make sure that you have everything and then they can help you update and upload. So if you need to make corrections, there you go. It can be very complicated again. So, having a software that assists you with that, all that is certainly a very great benefit. So yeah, so, this is a wonderful tool that can assist us in ensuring that we stay compliant. And that's that BOI.
Yes.
All right, so if you guys have no questions, so I want to thank you for attending today's podcast. And if you have any comments or feedbacks or reviews, please send them over to us. Or if you need us to help you with anything, you know where to find us. And don't forget to follow us on social media. And join us on our next podcast. It will be on business evaluation for small business owners. It is something we all want to know a little bit more about. So let's keep learning. And until next time, stay inspired. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bonnie.